Hi guys and welcome. I'm Lisa Akbari, your hair doctor, and I want to get these questions in because you have questions for me and I want to make sure I answer them all. Okay, it says my 8-year-old daughter has seborrheic dermatitis. We have we have been prescribed different shampoos, ointments, etc., and nothing seems to work. Please help. Okay. All right, hold on. Seborrheic dermatitis is an inflammation of the sebaceous glands. It means that her sebaceous glands may be overactive, inflamed. Now, I hear that diagnosis a lot, and sometimes I examine and it does not appear. But you don't want to argue the point with your dermatologist. If it's not working, then we need to go to the root of just trying to balance the skin. The skin is going to require of you, in order to be balanced, it's going to require a clean, acidic, stimulated, hydrated environment. In other words, you want to shampoo often. With seborrheic dermatitis or any type of scalp problem, you want to shampoo at least twice a week, 3 times if necessary, with a quick fix on some of those. In other words, you want to put the shampoo on, massage it in, rinse it off, put your conditioner on 60 seconds, rinse it off. That would be your quick fix. The other times you may want to do 2 applications of shampoos, and then you want to massage it through, of course, conditioner on under the dryer with your conditioner. Okay? All right, so that would be one thing that you would do. Let's see, where did I lose my thought? Okay, it says, okay, now that's the clean environment. The stimulated environment, you always want to make sure you have good circulation around the epidermis, your follicles, and things on your scalp. So you want to massage under the hair, balls of the fingers, deep massaging. Looking for the patchy areas, if you have any patchy areas, flakes or pollutants, itchy spots, things like that, where you know that there's a flare-up, then you want to massage into those areas so you stimulate the circulation. The scalp is skin. Skin is an organ. It needs good blood supply and circulation. Also, your scalp follicles, you want to make sure they're stimulated. So that stimulation is good. Never the nails. Even though you're tempted to scratch or use these shampoo brushes, don't do it because they will tear the skin. Okay, you want to make sure that's a clean, stimulated or acidic environment. Always make sure your shampoos are 4.5 to 5.5. You want to make sure they're acidic. That's important because the skin has its own pH of 4.5 to 5.5. Okay, and then your hydrated environment. Someone asked earlier, what happens with my hair and it breaks after a roller set? Dehydration. You want to make sure you're not overexposing to the dryer. And I'm not speaking with conditioners. I'm speaking with things like under the dryer, making sure that you're not over drying your scalp. Blow dryers, burning the scalp, chemicals, those things tend to dehydrate the skin. That's very important. So that clean, acidic, stimulated environment, hydrated environment, make sure you do that. And then once you do, then you want to see what happens with the scalp. There are also some scalp treatments, some very natural thing. We talked about oils in the past, but some of your oils, your tea tree, but you don't want to use it alone because it will burn. Your jojoba, you have aloe vera. These are other types of hydrations, natural hydrating things that you can use. I have scalp treatments on my site. For this particular problem, I would probably recommend a level 3. You know, I don't do a lot of recommending of my product on this show because I really want you to do your research. My products are there for your convenience, but do your research. But that's what I would recommend for your baby. Okay, now it's the next question. When using a moisturizer, that is water-based but does contain some oils, do I still use an oil afterwards to seal in moisture? Yes, because when you're using those moisturizers that have some oils, they're just carrying. They're just carriers. They're not necessarily lubricating. They're just helping to blend and to carry. So you do want to do that because you want to put your moisturizers on. They have mostly humectants in them, and those are moisture binding agents. So you're not going to get the true benefit of a lubrication of a single oil. So yes, you will need to lubricate. But remember, moistures and oils are support products. So if you overuse, then you're going to feel weighed down. So you want to glaze your hand with your moisture, find your dry areas and go through it with your moisture. Glaze your hand with your oil, seal in that. Feel dry, moisture, look dull, oil. Okay? All right. Next question she says, I stopped blow drying my hair completely. I really don't want to. It said, I stopped blow drying my hair completely. I really don't want to, but it is good to do. Is it good to do occasionally, or should I stop completely? I think it says I don't blow dry my hair. So I have not for almost 9 months because I'm scared. Oh, this person is scared of heat damage. Let me tell you what happens with blow dryers. Okay, first what happens with blow dryers, you can overheat and you can create what we call bubble hair. And bubble hair is where you get these little nodular areas in the actual strand and it will cause poor elasticity. So over a period of time, you end up with these little break points throughout the hair. What you want to do with your using a blow dryer, you want to, of course, you shampoo and condition. Always never use a heated tool without a clean hair. And then you want to use products that hydrate. There's a product we have called Cool Down. Okay, here I go. But you want to use something that's going to protect the hair from the heated tool. Put that on, let it sit. Now, you can let it sit for a few seconds, or you can let it sit for over a period of time. Say you can let it sit for 10 minutes or so, or you can plait your hair and dry overnight. Then, if you're trying to blow dry to straighten, then you can go back through with a little bit of moisturizer and blow dry out. Or you can just let it sit, let the hydrating bonds, those bonds that hold the hair, seal the hair, you can let those bonds begin to close down, and then you begin to blow dry. Okay? And that will keep you from forced elasticity or causing problems with your elasticity. That's really important. All right. Next question. How can I protect my hair from swimming? Now go back to the blow dryer. Don't worry about it. You can use your blow dryer, but just be really careful. How can I protect my hair from swimming? So, number one, you want to protect your hair and the environment. Okay? When you swim, you always want to, before you swim, rinse your hair, warm water, run your clarifier through. Then you're ready to swim. Okay? After you finish swimming, you want to clarify. If you clarify, you remove all those chemicals from your hair and you'll be fine. Then you want to condition, because what happens, your moisture levels drop and you will dry out. So the best way to protect it from swimming is not necessarily the swimming cap, and you can do that if you like, but you don't have to do it. You can be free, let the hair flow in the water, and then as long as you clean your hair before, because you want to protect the environment in the pool, and then you want to protect yourself by removing the chemicals away. All right. Another reason is because a lot of those chemicals stick into those products, and so you don't want that either. Okay, next question. I was wondering, if I'm transitioning and you said don't use mousse on your hair, if it's humid outside, what should I use? Well, if it's humid, what mousse will do is swell the hair. So it's not going to help. You're looking for something to hold. And there are so many holding agents in mousse and different products. So they're no longer a mousse. They were just a holding foam. I can tell you right away that it depends. You said you have natural, are you transitioning? Sculpting lotions, we have a sculpting lotion, a sculpting lotion that I would recommend. Use setting lotions are better. Something that's going to get, what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to keep the moisture out, the outside moisture from getting in. What happens, the cuticle sits up and the moisture goes in and the hair swells. So you frizz. So you want to use something that's going to keep that cuticle flat. And the way to do that is by using your setting lotions. After you do your style and you're saying you're transitioning, then you're going to use your setting lotions, and I have a sculptor set I recommend. And then you want to lubricate the hair lightly with oil, and then use your holding mist, and then you should be fine. No spritz, just a sculpting mist and a sculpting lotion, and then you should be fine. I just don't want you to dehydrate and swell, and that's what generally happens with mousse. Okay, it's the next question. I have a deep conditioning mask. Is it better than regular deep conditioning? I want to address that because I talked about mud and all these others. These products are not a problem, especially the natural ones. If it's a mask, there's just so many creative ways to market your product. And so people are doing things in a mask and a mud and all these things. You just have to make sure that you can rinse clean and still squeak. Because if you don't rinse clean, then you're going to have a cosmetic buildup. The deep conditioning, most of them, the reason for the deep conditioning is because they want to go far into the hair. And those tend to have a smaller molecular weight. So the molecules that make up the conditioner are very small. So they go in, do what they need to do, and they generally rinse clean. So that's why I recommend those. Okay, next question. It says, also, speaking of grays, it's another part to this question. Speaking of gray, I had a shed strand that was gray by the bulb, and the rest was dark. Am beginning to gray. I guess she wants to know if she's beginning to gray. How early can you gray? I'm in my late 30s. Okay. Well, gray, number one, of white. Gray is an illusion. It's because you have dark hair and light hair, which is what you saw. Well, the gray, that just means that your white hair is with the darker hair. Now, if you saw white hair close to the scalp and darker hair toward the ends, that means that strand has lost its color pigments and now they're white. That means you have no dark pigments in that white strand. If it's like turning, usually it'll turn brown and then you watch the cycle. Well, at this point, you can cover it, of course, but to answer the question, how early can you gray? First question is, are you graying? Yes, you're turning white. The next thing is, how early? Oh my goodness, it's all genetically linked. It's just an absence of color pigments found in the cortical fibers. When the hair is developing in the cortical areas, those pigments, dark or light, are developing, and you may have an absence of the dark. So that can be genetically linked. So we've had babies to be born with white hair. And then it could happen over a period of time. Generally, as we get older, we begin to lose that ability. Sometimes stress, medication, diet. So there's various things. Lots of research out there about it. I talk about it in some of my books. And I just believe that it's going to be a natural process. But if there are things that you can do, like cover the hair, then you should use them. You don't have to have white hair. I did it. I got rid of all of my little white friends that were on the front of my head. I did. Okay, now how do you feel about using shea butter and black African soap on hair? We talked about shea butter already. I definitely would not use any type of black soap or any kind of soap on the hair because I believe that there are shampoos that are clarifiers that would do a better job. Now, I've looked at some of these soaps and I just don't believe it. But that's my opinion as a trichologist. And you got to remember now, I view the hair strands under the microscope. And so what I try to do is I try to look at ways to work with the integrity of the hair, keep that intact, keep the hair shaft solid, keep the cuticle layers compact, keep the moisture levels up, so nice soft hair and good elasticity. So I'm looking to things that are going to help to promote those types of things. Again, I love shea butter. I even love the black soap for the face. Love it. I've used it on my face. It keeps the skin tone really even. But for the hair, I don't recommend it. Okay. All right. Next question says, my question is about hair grease. I currently use Indian hemp for me and my daughters. Is it good to use or should I be using an oil on our hair? Using another oil on our hair because Indian hemp is an oil, hemp oil. If I should be using an oil, what would you recommend? Because there are so many choices. You're right. The oils everywhere. There's naturals, there's unnatural, man-made, animal. This is what I say about oils. Now, first with hemp. I use hemp because I use it with there's another seed. I can't even think of it right now, but wow. And I'll talk a lot about that hemp oil when I start doing some of my raw food, olive oil, and some of the others. And just look for those videos because they are coming up, guys. I promise. Well, the hemp oil, you really don't need to use that on the hair. Again, it is definitely dense. I use it on food. It's a very good oil for the body. The body processes it very well. The hair would lubricate, but I just don't necessarily recommend it for the hair because I do recommend jojoba again and mink, and those are from two different ends of it because jojoba is more natural, mink is more animal. But I like the shine and the lubrication, and the integrity of the hair stays intact, and it doesn't seem to be irritant to the skin. So with that being said, I wouldn't recommend the hemp. I have products on my website. If you need help, I have a whole page for little girls of color, so that would help you as well. All right, next question we have. Let's see. All right, what is the best order to shampoo and condition the hair? What's the best order? It says I usually pre-poo, apply olive oil, and let it sit overnight. Shampoo, deep condition, and she said pre-poo. That means I guess you're shampooing and then apply olive oil, let it sit overnight. Shampoo, deep condition, or protein, and then deep condition, rinse out, condition, or thick creamy conditioner oil is a detangle, then leave-in conditioner. Wow, you're working hard, aren't you? I like to keep things simple. Even though I have several items that I use, I like to keep things really simple. Shampooing, you definitely need to do that. You're going to shampoo and then put the oil on and then shampoo it out again. What you're doing is you're like shampooing it out. It depends on what you're using. If you're clarifying, because you're not really getting it all out, so you're leaving some of the oil there. So my recommendation, if you want to do some type of, leave some type of oil in, like olive oil, it's going to be pretty dense and you're going to feel like you need to shampoo it out. But then I would clarify and then just put the oil on, let it sit with my conditioner, and then rinse it off if you're going to do it. And then you'll leave traces of it on there, which is what you want, that lubricant. But it's just not necessary. The hair needs to be balanced with two things, protein and moisture. You need the lubrication to seal in and to give some shine. But if you balance your protein and moisture level, you're going to get shine because your cuticle is going to be tight and compact, and it's going to reflect light a lot better. So I just differ in the opinion. There's so much out there, and I can tell you right away, you just don't have to have those things. And like I said, I've been doing this for years, 30 years actually. Is grapeseed oil light enough for the hair? You guys, I am so sorry. I know that you guys value my opinion, and I just love you for it. But grapeseed is okay. Grapeseed is a good oil for the scalp. I use it. I like what grapeseed does as far as the lubricant on the scalp. And it's kind of dense, but it's still the way the skin responds to it. So let me just give you guys, all of you out here who are looking at oils and asking me about olive and all that, I want you to take just a small amount of that oil, put it on the back of your hand, rub it in, and then feel how sticky it is. And then look at your hand and see the shine. And then from there, make your decision. If it's skin friendly, it has nice shine, and it's not sticky, go for it. Use it because you like it, and it should be okay. Okay? Thanks a lot, guys. I'm Lisa Akbari, your hair doctor. Keep those questions coming. To God be the glory in Jesus. I love you, love you, love you guys. Thank you for your questions, and I'll keep my research going, and let me hear from you. All right? Talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.